Dytech was started over 35 years ago in a garage by Richard Dennis's father. From those humble beginnings, Dytech has grown into a successful precision metal stamping manufacturer. Dytech develops parts which are designed to carry an electrical circuit in such diversified products as medical devices, nuclear power filtration systems, ABS braking systems, and linkless accelerators for the automotive industry. But while Richard was building a successful business, he was concerned that he was not getting the best tax advice from his current advisors. So he brought in a team of tax experts to develop a strategic tax plan for his business and his family. What are the insights you gained from the business analysis?
We had a very good year in 2010, and we were concerned about the tax liabilities that we would have. And I wasn't satisfied with our strategies that we had used in past years. I felt we were leaving a lot on the table. One of our concerns also that we're starting to deal with is wealth generation, and the family keeps getting bigger. There are more mouths to feed. So we saw this as an opportunity to look at some different techniques, and the analyst was able to show us several different strategies that made sense to us, that preserved the cash flow of the operating unit and also helped generate wealth not only for the immediate owners, but some strategies that allowed us to transfer some wealth to other closely related family members that at that point in time weren't direct participants in the business. And this was very important to us. We also talked about the structure of the organization and the operating units that we have, and also looked at the way to change the relationships there, or the structures, to reduce liabilities and future liabilities of those different operating units.
Richard, what benefit did you get from STA's strategic tax planning for you and your business?
Well, Tom, one of the biggest benefits was it started to change our mindset about how we looked at the whole tax conundrum. The prevailing attitude in the organization was that you had to work in the organization, essentially earn a wage from the organization to be able to get money out of the company, and also that if we wanted to reduce taxes, we had to buy equipment. So that was basically two strategies as an organization. You had to work in the organization in order to receive benefit from it, and in order to reduce tax liability, we'd have to buy equipment. And so it left the organization very tax poor, or not tax poor, very cash flow poor in the March-April time frame of each subsequent year. And we'd rebuild our coffers, so to speak. And also we had owners outside the company that really their only benefit was to sell their stock in order to achieve any personal wealth or benefit from the organization. The analysts showed us, I can't even remember how many, but Tom, but there were multiple tools that seemed to fit and make sense for our organization, that gave us a vehicle to start transferring money to owners in a very good, favorable tax rates. And also there were several strategies that allowed us to flow money out of the organization, but retain the cash flow benefits also for the organization, so that we started this year in a very good cash position. The net result is that we have not been using our line of credit. We've been self-financing now for really the first time in probably the 35-year history of the company for our spring busy season when it starts again. Each year we're cyclical, and this year we're using our cash instead of borrowing cash to manage our operations.
Describe to me what your business was like before you brought in our team of business and tax experts, and how it has changed for the better today.
We've always considered ourselves a family business, and at this stage in our development, we're starting to look at ourselves as a business family. And as a business family, we recognize we need to look at things a little bit differently. And one of those was the way we managed our taxes in our business. And STA's analysis and the tools that they were able to bring to the table enabled us to generate family wealth, cash flow, and change the liability structure of our organizations to help us achieve that vision of being a business family where we would have the means and ability to create multiple business units as different members of the family had different passions or different interests. They weren't all being grouped and locked into Ditech, which is essentially the stamping manufacturing company. This was the strategic tax initiatives are allowing us to spread that wealth around different family units so that they can begin to develop their own businesses and generate more income for themselves and actually take a little bit more control over their own personal lives in that respect.
Richard, what would you say to a business owner who's considering using our analytical and strategic tax planning services to improve his business?
Oh, the short answer is just do it. The longer version is that they're a very professional organization, very easy to work with. They bring a lot of expertise to the table. They tailored a program, some strategies and ideas for us that made a lot of sense. They were fairly easy to implement, and they were very, very helpful in helping us achieve our long-range strategic goals of being a business family and allowing us to use the income we generate from our primary business unit into wealth generation for owners and other generations, and allowing them to pursue their passions and dreams with their own ideas for businesses outside of our core stamping company.
How did our consultants help you improve your business operations?
Oh, Tom, we worked with the consultants in our sales and marketing area. We had two objectives in the project. The first was to develop a methodology to investigate potential acquisitions, and also the other part was how to develop a professional representation through manufacturers' representatives. As the project evolved and the environment started to change a little bit, that whole system evolved into what we call our whale hunting system at this point in time. And the key difference in that methodology was, in the past we used to approach a prospect and look for maybe a single job that would be worth $50,000 to $150,000 in annual revenue. And in the whale strategy, we began to analyze prospects from their ability to bring in $1 million to $2 million in revenue with multiple new projects or existing projects that they already had in-house. And our objectives were to essentially pull all that work from weaker competitors into our organization. At this point, I can say that the whale process is working very effectively. We've had one significant conversion in the automotive industry, and should within the next couple weeks know if we've successfully converted a second one.
Richard, how did our consultants help you improve the productivity of your employees?
Well, the productivity really went up in our sales and marketing area, because the evolution of the project, once we were in that whale mindset, we were able to focus on fewer prospects at that point, and we could focus our message and fine-tune our message more precisely to attract these million-dollar portfolios rather than trying to build a portfolio, one or two units at a time over multiple customers. So if we look at the effectiveness of a salesperson at this point in time, they're working with projects that are worth several hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions in total, rather than onesies and twosies in the $100,000 range, $50,000 to $100,000 range. So it's just made our life easier in processing all the steps that we have to go through. These are projects, any project we do is typically a very long cycle because of all the technology that's involved and the matching, since we're in automotive at a tier 4 level. The approvals typically have to go up through 3 or 4 different levels of companies, and working in this larger scale has just streamlined the processes and made the sales team much more effective for us.